Dear students, good evening. Today we are going to discuss about the case study on the topic of ARM processor because most of the digital components nowadays we are using ARM processor. So we are going to discuss the ARM processor based on their applications. So here we are going to discuss the company of LG product related to with the ARM processor unit. That is, what are all the components that is LG company products using ARM processor, that is which product is applicable for basic COM processor, that is classic COM processor, and classic COM processor to higher end process. We will discuss one by one based on our design thinking concept. So this is our ARM processor. That is, first the question is, what is ARM? ARM is a advanced RISC machine. That is a reduced instruction set computing architecture for computer. Then what does the ARM processor do? ARM processors are extensively used in consumer electronic devices such as smartphone, tablets, multimedia players, and other mobile services such as wearables. That is, because of their reduced instruction set, they require fewer transistors, which enable a smaller die size for the integrated circuitry. That is, the circuit size is very minimum. That's why the most of the companies preferring ARM processor unit. That is, what is ARM in embedded system? That is, how the ARM processor plays the major role in embedded system. That is, an ARM processor is one of the family of CPU based on the RISC architecture developed by advanced RISC machine. That is ARM. It is 32-bit or 64-bit RISC multi-core processor. Then why ARM is so much popular? ARM has got better performance when compared to other processor. The ARM processor is basically consisting of low power consumption and low cost. It is very easy to use ARM for quick and efficient application development. So that is the main reason why ARM is most popular. That is, it is based on the user requirement. We can modify the instruction, and power consumption also very low. That's why most of the consumer equipments we are offering ARM processor. Then advantages of ARM processor, that is, the great advantages of ARM processor is they are designed to have lowest possible energy consumption while maintaining high processing power. Therefore, the ideal processor for device in which energy efficiency matters more than gross performance. Everybody, there is a question in everybody mind, that is ARM is the future. That is, the future products developed based on the ARM processor. ARM, yes, of course, ARM is the future. For the past 10 years, ARM has consistently improved more than x86 on single core speed and even more on total core. ARM is hedging ever else to x86 performance and moving up to a ladder where they are competitive while maintaining their lead in power efficiency that secures their core markets. Then we have to discuss our empathy part. In our empathy part, we are going to discuss about three types of cases, that is ARM classic family, then embedded family, and application oriented family. So we are going to discuss these three topics in our empathy part. That is, first one is ARM classic processor. That is, ARM classic processor means includes the basic processor, that is ARM 7, 9, and 11 processor families. These processors are still widely used around the globe, providing cost effective solutions for many of today's applications. So it is a basic processor unit, so it is mainly used in simple application purpose. And second one is embedded. For this embedded application, we are considering Cortex M processor. That is, ARM Cortex M3 processor is a very well high deterministic real-time application even for low-cost performance such as automotive, body system, industrial control system, wireless networking, and sensors, and many more. We are using this ARM Cortex M series. Then ARM Cortex M series is a 32-bit RISC-ARM processor cores licensed by ARM Holding. These are all the optimized for low power and energy efficient microcontrollers, which have been embedded in tens of billions of consumer devices. Then why we are using ARM Cortex means ARM Cortex A is a 32-bit or a 64-bit RISC ARM processor core licensed by ARM Holding. The core are intended for application use. The 64-bit ARM Cortex A core as well as 32-bit ARM Cortex A32 implemented the ARM V8 unit. Then what is the difference between classic and embedded? That is ARM basic unit and Cortex unit. That is, ARM 7 implement both the ARM and thumb instruction set, and Cortex supports only the thumb 2 instruction set. The thumb 2 instruction set does not require the system to which state between thumb and ARM code, which reduces the performance with earlier processor. With earlier processor. Then Cortex M and A series, that is Cortex M series lies between Cortex M0, M1, like that it goes on, M1, M2, M3 up to M7. Implement the ARM V7EM architecture, that is M22, 23, 35 implement the ARM V8 architecture, and 55, that is Cortex M55 implements the ARM V8 architecture. That is so these are all our empathy part. So based on the user requirement, we are differentiating the ARM unit into classic processor, embedded processor, and application oriented processor we are classifying. So our defined part, we are consider only the higher end processor application unit, that is comes under Cortex A, R, and M series. So we are providing solution for the end user. So based on the user requirement, we can simplify the application and instruction set also. So we go for higher end processor, that is application oriented. That is our defined part. So that is ARM is announcing the next generation ARM Cortex A72 processor based on the 64-bit ARM V8A design. ARM claim that the new chip delivers as much as 50 times the performance gain compared to the processor from just 5 years, and 3.5 times the performance gain of the ARM Cortex A15 processor. Then what is the most powerful processor? ARM processor means that is what company make ARM processor means, that is Apple, Applied Micro, and Broadcom, Qualcomm, and Samsung Electronics, then LG Electronics. So these are all the companies using their product designed by the ARM processor unit. So everybody have a question, that is ARM better than Intel? Yes, of course. The next major difference between the ARM processor and Intel processor is that ARM has only ever designed power efficient processor. It's design low power usage processor, that is expertise. However, Intel expertise is design super high performance desktop and server processor. So the main question is, ARM is so popular, that is ARM has got better performance when compared to other processor. The ARM processor is basically consisting of low power consumption and low cost. It is very easy to use ARM for quick and efficient application development. So it is the reason why ARM is so popular nowadays. So our defined part fully based on the application oriented, that is we are focusing only on Cortex series, that is Cortex A and Cortex R and Cortex M series, that is we are focusing higher end applications. Higher end applications. Our empathy part deals with basic processor, that is old processor, that is ARM 7, 9 and 11 series, and in second stage, second empathy is embedded, that is lower end application, and third empathy status higher end applications. So our defined part we are focusing only higher end applications. Okay. So we are providing solution in our ideate part, that is Windows 10 we are installing ARM. We can run this ARM processor and find a solution, that is a very big advantages. Then the large operations are processed in small and simple at the expense of more machine codes. This means that ARM has fewer single use part that suck power while not being used and are smaller or less expensive. That is we are using thumb instruction set, and multiple storage pipelines are the major key point for solution finding nowadays. That is ARM Cortex M series processor, that is an ARM Cortex M series processor. It is optimized for cost and energy efficient microcontroller. Um, these processors are found in a variety of applications, including IoT, industrial, and everyday consumer devices. The processor family is based on the M profile architecture that provides low latency and a high deterministic operation for deeply embedded system. Our latest generation of Cortex M processor is the Cortex M55. Architecture with ARM Helium technology, a vector processing extension. ARM Cortex M55 brings enhanced level of machine learning and signal processing performance to the next wave of small embedded devices, from wearable to smart speakers and beyond. Then in this Cortex M series, we have a number of processor, that is M55 and M35, that is M1 up to M55, based on the user requirement. So these M series implemented in different applications. For example, in M55 it is mainly used in artificial intelligence application, and M35 is optional software isolation using trust zone, and M1 series is mainly used, that is it is available to access instantly with a design start FPGA. Then M0 processor is energy efficient ARM processors available. Then this ARM Cortex M series plays a major role in machine learning applications. That is, Cortex M microcontroller can be used for classic machine learning techniques, neural networks, and also work with machine learning libraries and frameworks. That is, for example, TensorFlow for neural network. For classical machine learning, download CMSIS DSP. Then second one is Cortex A series. That is, Cortex A series is a group of 32-bit or 64-bit RISC processor licensed by ARM Holding. And so features of ARM A series is 8 core implemented for all dynamic IQ based processor, up to quad core implementation for all processors using ARM 7 VA and original ARM V8A specification. So, scalable cluster supporting single and multi core configuration. RISC core with support for AMV7A and ARM V8A architecture, full backward compatibility with code from previous ARM processor, BFP and Neon unit to execute floating point and advanced SIMD instruction set, optional cryptography acceleration engine supporting algorithm like AES, SHA1 and SHA2 are available. Memory management supporting virtual address and physical address space with the various page size. Hardware translation table walking for virtual and to physical address translation. So far we have discussed our ideate part, that is so based on the user requirement we are providing solution using Cortex M series and Cortex R series and Cortex A series, that is so far we have discussed ARM processor family. That is, from this ARM processor family we have discussed what is our empathy part. That is, in this empathy part we have discussed our what is classic ARM and embedded ARM and higher end application ARM. So from this empathy part we have focused on our defined part, so we are focusing higher end application. So based on this higher end application processor we are providing solution to our end user, and that is our defined part, and providing solution in our ideate part we are using Cortex A and Cortex R and Cortex M because it is a reduced instruction set we are using. So it is operated only on a thumb instruction and multi-storage pipeline architecture. So we are using this ARM A, R and M series. So this is our prototype model. So from this we have to conclude that based on the higher end applications, it is mainly used in automotive systems and high density storage unit and mobile baseband unit. We are using this ARM Cortex series, that is A, M and R series. So that's why this is our prototype model. So from this I have to conclude that ARM is a single to quad core configuration with full hardware coherence, support symmetric and asymmetric OS implementation, so coherence with external and non-cached bus masters, coherence with other CPU clusters. So that's why we are using ARM Cortex series in our automotive systems and high density storage and mobile baseband unit. That's why we are using this ARM unit. So based on these features, we are utilizing this ARM unit in our day-to-day life. So I think all get a clear idea about this ARM processor case study. Thank you.